So here I had started my yoga practice and realized that I used the wrong settings, so now I'm kind of pissed. But anyway. So let's start in child's pose here. So let's extend the hips back behind you and lower onto your mat and extend your arms forward and just get a nice shoulder release here. And see if there's any part of your body that is noticing some tension. And for me, I had strained myself. I strained the right upper, my lower back doing yoga because I wasn't engaging my core. So we're going to try to do that this morning. See what happens when we take a normal pose and we figure out what the core is doing in the moment. But it's always good to kind of wake up the spine a little bit and find some extension here. And so I just noticed there's just a little bit of achiness in my lumbar spine, which happens to most of us at one time or another. So I just noticed there's, I was born with a little bit more of a lordosis in the spine, so a little bit more of a curve in my lower back, and so I always try to take out a little bit of the curve in my lower back. And invite some Ujjayi breath here. That's called the ocean's breath, Darth Vader breath, but just like you're whispering the breath, but it doesn't have to be that loud. But just lightly constricting the throat allows the breath to be a little bit slower to help calm the nervous system, as we also heat the body. It wouldn't make sense for us to do this if we're running. But it's also a good way just to warm the body before running. And let's press into with your hands. Just slowly move the hips off of the calves and come into a tabletop and wiggle the spine back and forth just a little bit. Now extend the left leg behind you. So the heel is extending. So you don't have to raise it high. We're not doing bar or Pilates. It's extending behind you. And just feel your glute engage here. And then extend the right hand in front of you like you're trying to shake the hand of somebody in front of you. And notice what's happening here. Just notice how the muscles of the core are engaging and stabilizing you. And that's really what's important for us throughout this practice, is finding this stability in the core as we're moving our limbs. So keep extending, keep breathing, pressing in with the hand. And now lower the right hand, keeping the right leg up in the air. Turn the left hip open for a moment, and then press in with your right hand and open the left arm to the sky. So this might be a little too much for you right now, so you can put the left foot down. And if this is a little awkward for your right hip, you can just kind of use the shin as a kickstand and open up here. We open up the chest. So try to draw the shoulder blades together. And just feel the opening in your left hip. And this should feel pretty good. I can tell I haven't drank enough water because I'm feeling some cramping in my right hip. And if this feels good, stay here, or you can open up further. Or you can draw the left arm overhead and just feel a total stretch in the left side of the body. And now, just as we came into this pose, let's see if we can find our way out of this pose. So let's just draw the left hand down first and then twist ourselves back. Maybe still have the left leg extended, or just drawing the left knee back in and just shake out the hips here. And I'm going to turn myself around here so I don't have my back to you. Now extend the right leg behind you. So again, feel like you're doing a plank. Just feel the stabilizing muscles of your core, feeling the hips drawing together like you're trying to fold your hips. And then just that pulls the belly to the spine, and feel the glute engage on the right side, and then extend your left leg straight. So just think about your core just helping you be stable. And now left hand comes back down. Whoops. And then open the body to the side. So you can keep your right leg in the air, or you can place it down, but then open the chest here. And just feel what it's like to balance. So it might be a little wobbly, but just find the stability in the left hand planting down, pressing in with the knuckles and the fingers rather than dumping all the weight into the wrist. And just opening the chest, pulling the shoulder blades together. So if this feels good, stay here, or you can open up the chest even more. You might even feel some bicep stretching. So this might feel good, or you can get the side stretch a little bit more. So you find this really, really opening the top of your right hip, and maybe the lat muscles underneath your right arm. And just notice your breath here. And then draw the right arm back up. Come back, bring your right hand down, and then draw your right knee back in. Just feel this. I gotta teach here in a few minutes, so. So let's come on down to our bellies. And so just gently Lower yourself. And find a good place for your hands so that you can pull your elbows close to your ribs. And that's kind of what's important here, because so many times we do our cobra pose with our hands here, and then our hands do all the movement, and then we dump so much weight into our lower back. We want to find an extension in the lower back and extend and then come up. So we'll feel the core again. So core also involves all the muscles in your back as well. So draw the elbows to your ribs, and you can just feel the shoulder blades just kind of just nice and flat behind you. And so this might be fine for you for a moment. Pressing the pubic bone into the mat, and just see if you can just raise just very, very slowly, but also think about moving diagonally. So you're moving forward, but also moving up. So your shoulders are moving away from your ears, pressing your thighs into the mat. And now see if you can pull your hip points together. I mean, it's definitely not going to happen, but that just helps engage the front muscles of your core. And then lower. Let's see if we can do that and just kind of integrate all of this together. Extending your hips maybe a little bit further behind you, because maybe we created some space. So just kind of walk your hips back just a little bit. Open the shoulders first, just peeling back. Inhale, exhale, pubic bone drives into the mat, feeling the hip points drawing together, and then see how you can extend the spine, but also raise your chest. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. And then release. Relax. Okay. And then feel your hip points drawing together. Press up. Just using the core to stabilize your back. And then you can come into a short child's pose, just as a extension here. And then tuck your toes. Press into your hands, raise your hips into a downward facing dog. It can be a short downward dog, long downward dog. In the many years I've been practicing yoga, I have yet to get my heels to reach the ground. I mean, sure, I can cheat. I can do this. But that's not much. The most comfortable downward dog is the one that is integrating all points in your body. So it's your hands pressing in with the mat, so you're really recruiting your forearms, pulling your hips to the sky, and then pressing down with your heels, even though they might not reach the mat. And feeling your shoulders moving away from your hands so you get a good extension. All right, now let's walk very, very slowly. We're still not quite warmed up yet. Walk your feet to your hands. And just kind of wiggle your hips here for a moment. So we have a part of us, and this is what hurt me the other day. So we have this kind of transition that we don't think much of in yoga, and it's the halfway lift. So you inhale, halfway lift, exhale, and then we go into that. Yeah. So what happened for me was we stayed here in this halfway lift, but I wasn't cueing myself to activate my core. So what was going on, because I wasn't activating my core, I was dumping all the pressure in my back muscles to keep myself at this posture. And so if you think about it, if you're sitting here at this halfway lift, and you do this all the time, right? How many times are you bending over picking up the dog poop, right? But when your body is at this 90-degree angle, there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of stuff that's falling asleep if you're not paying attention. So I can dump all of my weight into my hands, and then it's like, ugh, right? Or you can just notice what's going on here. And like we were doing before, when we had the feet squeezing the block together, you can squeeze to activate the inner thigh. And then just send that energy to the lower muscles of your core. And now, what happens when you try to pull the hip points together? So pushing the belly into the spine. I know that's a funky cue, but pushing. So you're essentially kind of taking out some of that rounding in some of the arch in the lower back. And so you're kind of flattening the back. And seeing if you can use the core, find the corset, and then pressing your hands into your thighs to get an extension like we were doing when we were seated. So that can be kind of intense. And again, so he had us here for the longest time, and then we had our hands in all these different positions, and my lower back was really, really feeling it. And meanwhile, my hip flexors were shortening. So let's just feel what happens when we draw through, really pull. Feel the inner muscles of our core engage. And then let's use the core pressing in with our feet and coming into standing. So then let's just do a basic sun salutation here, just to get some some little bit more movement going on. So just feel the mountain here. Just feel tall. Steady your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, float the hands down. Come into your forward fold. Bend the knees just a little bit, feeling the core engage here. So you're halfway lift. And exhale, drop the right foot behind you, and the knee drops. So inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And just kind of hang out here for a mo. So this can be something that can be really, really opening to our right thigh And you can hang out here forever because this is actually a good yin pose. But don't feel that you need to open up here. If you need to stay here, that's good. And just feel the opening in the front of your right hip. And then extend the left leg straight. So we're just kind of moving through this really, really slow the first round. And what I like to do is walk my hands to the outside of my extended leg. So just notice that my foot is flat. You can also pick up your foot and do it that way. It really doesn't matter, just whatever feels good for you, and just feel. But this also is a beautiful extension in the side body on the right side. And you also feel a nice little stretch of the IT band on the outside of the left leg. And let's bend again through the left knee. Plant your hands on the either side of your foot. Tuck your back toes. Come into plank. And then come back onto your knees. And let's do our very gentle cobra. So plant your hands down towards your armpits and inhale. Exhale. Tuck your toes. Inhale. Come back up through plank and come into a downward facing dog. Inhale. Step the right foot forward. Drop the left knee. So we're doing the other side. So again, you can just do the standard low lunge, or you can just kind of suss it out here and just notice what your left hip is telling you. And so this pose is actually really, really great for people who sit a lot, because this muscle, there's two muscles here that get shortened, and then that pulls the lower back. And makes it very, very difficult for us to stand. And then we walk around hunched over, and then walking around hurts, and then we lose our mobility altogether. And then extend the right leg forward, or extend it just straight. Walk the hands back. And then walk your hands on either side, or on the outside of your right leg. And just feel the nice stretch on the outside of the left hip, but also maybe a nice little stretch, nice little tugging of all the muscles on the outside of the right hip as well. You might even feel a tugging on the lat muscle on your, the shoulders of your left shoulder, the muscles of your left shoulder. All right, bend the front knee. And now let's tuck the back toes and step back into a forward fold. So let's do this a little bit faster. Inhale, just find the flat back. engaging the core, stabilizing you. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, using the flat back. Inhale, core engage. Sweep the arms up overhead. Extend. Exhale, fall forward. All right, left foot steps back. Knee down. You can come into this low lunge or you can come into high lunge, depending upon where you're feeling it. Inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, top of a push-up. You can lower knees, chest and chin, or you can just kind of lower. Inhale, cobra. Feeling the core. Exhale, tuck the toes. Up through plank, downward dog. Inhale, left foot steps forward. You can drop the knee, sweep the arms up overhead, feeling your lunge. And plant the hands, step the right foot forward. Sweep the hips back and forth. Just notice your body warming up a little bit as we move through this little challenging version. As we warm up, we're going to go slow so we can feel ourselves through each posture. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale. Inhale, find the halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back into plank. Lower into chaturanga or your cobra. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg just reaches back like we were doing in bird dog. Exhale, draw the knee to your right tricep. Find your core here. Where did it go? It didn't go away. Just feel your hip points trying to pull together. And then plant the foot. So you can do this kneel down, low lunge or high lunge. So inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, left heel down, just come into a side angle. So your side angle can be with your knee down. This might be available for you. This might be best for you right now. Or it can be a high side angle with the foot flat. Just find the steadiness here. So your front leg is engaged, but you're also pressing with the outer blade of your left foot and the big toe of your left foot, so you can feel your glutes firing here. And now let's just kind of raise the torso up slowly. Extend the arms straight. And just find this warrior two. Check out your toes. Make sure you can see your big toe of your front leg while also pressing in. So lots of times we dump too much weight into the front foot. So maybe just play around with raising the heel of the back foot so you can remember what that leg muscle feels like. And then just come back into a lunge, a low lunge or runner's lunge. And feel the energy in the back leg, but also feel the front leg. Feel the front leg, the front heel squeezing towards your butt. So it's kind of pulling back. Use that energy to lift the back leg. So they call this standing split. I call it standing L shape because, as you can see, my legs are in an L and not a split. And just find the balance here. Now, what happened to your core? Remember that halfway lift? See if you can find some stabilization here. So you can walk your hands close to your foot. Or if you have your block, my block's all the way over there. Just feel this engagement here. Now, using your core, see if you can maybe float the hands. Just remember the core needs to be strong. And so you can use your arms like airplane wings. You decide what feels good for you, pulling the hips back. And now let's come on up and switch legs. So plant the left foot, raise the right knee. So that was our working leg. We're giving it a little bit of a break. And find the balance here. Find your core here. Extend. Extend, 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 extend. Now place the left hand on the right knee. And just try to press the right knee away and pull with your left hand. And maybe open up the right hand behind you. So a lot of stuff going on here. You're still extending tall, letting the core engage. As we have just a little bit of a twist here. And then just draw the hands up overhead. Find the steadiness, find a focal point a couple feet in front of you, and extend the leg straight. Don't lean back. Extend tall. And now let's plant the right foot as we fall back into our warrior three. Yep. Hello. So I like to bend my knee in this warrior three. Just make sure that your core is engaged. Press the thigh away to help extend. And now we have what Brian Kess used to call it, thank God asana. Plant the left foot behind you and just fall your torso, your ribs over your front right thigh. And so your legs are going to be just maybe about 2 or 3 feet. So not quite as wide as we did in side angle or warrior two. And so the right knee can be bent just a little bit so this is somewhat relaxing for the upper body. You get a nice little repose from the pose. Pull the right hip back. Lots of times we let our hip draw too far forward in this pose. Pull it back, press into the toes of the right foot. anchor the left heel and pull it away from you. So you find the stability here. Now plant both hands on either side of your right foot, bend through the front leg, step back into plank. Let's find our core again. This can be knees down. Squeeze that imaginary block between your feet. So you can lower into chaturanga, or you can come all the way down into the mat. Your choice. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, plant the feet, downward facing dog. So just be aware of what the major muscles are doing, but also what the muscles on the opposite side are doing. So lots of times we forget that the non-working leg is probably extending or doing something to help with your balance. So make sure that you are just always paying attention to the other things that are going on in your body aside from what is working, because it's possible that the working muscle is working too hard because the synergists and agonists are not doing their work. All right, so extend the left leg straight behind you. Just feel that bird dog, that sunbird. And then bend the left knee, come into a plank and just hold the left knee to your left tricep. Feel this core stability here. Just like you're folding the hip points towards you. Belly towards the spine. Kind of a flat back. And then plant. So we're working the left side now, but that doesn't mean that the right side isn't engaged here. So you can do your low lunge, or you can come into a high lunge, your choice. So this is opening the right hip, but also strengthening the left leg. Strengthening the outer left hip as well. But you're also still stabilizing the core. So lots of times we do this beautiful back bend and that looks awesome. But then we don't forget, or we do forget what's going on in the core. And so let's plant the right foot, the right heel down. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And then bend deep through the left knee. So shoulders are kind of even, and then just fall into a side angle. So again, whether your arm is resting on your left thigh, or whether your arm is reaching down to just lightly graze this floor, you're opening your chest. That's what's really most important. So pressing in with the right foot helps to stabilize your right hip. So you can open up A little bit more. Open the shoulder. And then just kind of bring the torso up into a warrior two. So look down at your toe. You should be able to see your big toe. Your knee is kind of tracking over your second and third toe. But you're also really planting the left leg. So just grounding the left leg. So that's going to help you feel your inner thigh of the right leg. So that takes a little bit of weight off the front leg, which can easily get to be on fire. And let's wind into our runner's lunge. So flip onto the back toes. Find your runner's lunge. So this is where we kind of pull the left heel towards us. That's going to help us spring up. So you can pop up. So this is actually how you start a handstand. So let's spring up. Now this is my bad knee. So I like to keep a nice bend in this knee because I have like next to no cartilage. And just find your standing L shape. And so try to track your hip over your ankle best as possible. Pull the hip back. And then your back leg is extended behind you. And the more you just get some engagement in the back leg, the more you're going to find stability. Now, what happened to your core? Remember that inhale, halfway lift, feeling the flat back. Feel that engagement. So you can hold on to a block here, or you can maybe play around with a warrior three. Now let's come on up, switch legs. So we're giving the left leg a break now as the right leg becomes the anchor. And bend the left knee. Just find the stability first before we get a little bit of action. So stabilization comes first, then movement. And now place the right hand on the outside of the left knee and pull as you press the left knee away. And maybe bring your torso with you. You come into just a subtle twist, just like we were doing seated. Actually, that was before my video dumped out on me, so you didn't experience this. So just a subtle twist, a mindful twist. Just feel the muscles of the core helping to stabilize you, but also some of them also are responsible for this subtle movement. Now, unwind, drape the arms overhead. The left leg extends. Don't lean back. See if you can raise your left leg straight. And then switch as you fall forward into your warrior three. Whoopee. Find the core. Place the hands. Bend through the knee. Step back. couple feet as you extend the left leg straight into Thank God Asana. So the back leg is kind of your kickstand. And so it could be 45 degrees. It can be parallel. It's just what really feels good. And press in with the toes of your left foot. Pull the left hip away. Again, this is my bad knee, so I have to be sure not to hyperextend it because then that really, really hurts. So we got this beautiful Thank God Asana, as Brian Kast will say. So then let's step the left foot back into a high plank. Feel this engagement here. Just slowly lower the chest onto the mat or come into a chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, upward facing dog. Exhale, push back, downward dog. All right, just a couple more poses here before we fall onto our seated poses. So inhale, stretch the right leg straight back, and then bend through the right knee, and then twist over, planting the left foot, and come in to fall in triangle. So you're extending the right leg straight. So it's a back leg is really anchoring you. The front leg is getting a little bit of a stretch. You're going to feel it just in a moment as we bring the left hand down. Just heel toe the right foot out and just drop the hip. And feeling a nice little stretch here. So this is kind of like a version of pigeon. Without really being pigeon. Now let's come back into three-legged dog. And let's try the other side. Hopefully I can cue it a little bit better. So inhale, extend the left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee. Draw it around to the right side of the body, outside of the mat. Just find a comfortable place here. So this might be a nice little twist for you now. And then open. So it's kind of like a side plank with a kickstand. Oops. And plant the back foot down. I mean, you can keep it up, and that's going to feel a little bit different. And then bring the right hand down, heel toe your left foot away from you. Come onto your back toes and just drop the hips. best as possible. Put some weight into your hands as you raise the left hip. Bend the left knee. And just kind of shake the left leg out a little bit. And then let's come onto your knees. Untuck the toes. Okay. Hard part's over. Now, let's bring the right ankle just under your left hip, and then just cross the left foot over your right knee. So this might be really, really uncomfortable, and if that's the case, then you can just come into an easy cross leg. But this can be pretty accessible for a lot of people. If your hip is just way too up in the air, then extend the right leg. Okay. So it really depends upon where your body is this morning. Now, find the extension here. So anchor your body into the mat. So like you're pressing your seat into the mat, but also extending through the spine. And then just twisting the torso over to the left. And so you can use your hand to kind of guide your left knee a little bit more towards the right, and then just place your left hand just behind you. So this might actually feel really good. If you want to go deeper, you can kind of reach your elbow and twist a little bit more. And then you can kind of revolve around your left arm. So like use that as the pole to guide you around. So these twists we do a lot of forward bending, back bending, and that's fine, but these twists are really important, especially as we get older, because a lot of things that we do are involved with these multiplanar movements. And without practicing these sorts of movements, the spine becomes much more rigid. And then all those muscles involved in the twist become too relaxed, and they don't help us when we need them. When you think about it, your hips do a little bit of rotation when you're walking. There's a little bit of twist in walking and running that we need. Inhale, extend. Exhale, unwind. And so if you had your leg extended, you can bend the knee. And this might actually be available for you, just this easy seated pose. Or if you are familiar with cow face pose, we want to kind of do that. So this is kind of lining the knees over one another. And this is kind of like my least favorite, but most favorite. This is my television pose. So anytime you find yourself sitting in front of the television, you can do this, and it'll feel really, really nice. So extend the left arm just out just a little bit, and the right arm drapes up. So let's find the up movement first. And draw the left shoulder away from the ear. And then let's see how much we can fall over to the left. And if the arm gets kind of tired, you can kind of place your hand behind your neck and just feel the opening here. There's a lot of stuff going on here, yeah. The elbow reaches up tall. The right hip planted. Nice side body stretch. So this is another, these lateral stretches are also really, really important. So we get the twist and the lateral stretches. And so if you have your hand behind your neck, inhale, stretch up. As you just softly release, come into extension. And so you can do if you know the transition, you can do that, but I will assume you don't. So let's just kind of unwind the legs. And now it is, and then of course I always forget which one. So now it's the right leg. So just figure out what feels good for you here. So the right foot is grounded. So this might be your version this morning, or you can tuck the left foot behind you. So again, if it's too much, if you're coming off of this hip too much, then it's probably best for you just today to bring the hip down. So for me, I can feel that this hip is just a little bit more locked. Oh, there it goes. Sometimes just spending a little bit of time with it, but ultimately you don't want to constantly be doing this leaning, because then you're just teaching your body to keep leaning. But ultimately you want to have both hip points onto the mat. So inhale, extend. Feel that core stabilize you. And then exhale, just twist the torso. And then the right hand plants wherever it wants to behind you. And open that shoulder. And then use the hand to kind of guide the left hip. So it's a little bit of a hip stretch here. And so if this feels good, stay here, or you can use the elbow to pull a little bit more. And now inhale, just extend the spine. So for me, I'm just finding a little bit of tightness. So really extend the spine, and then exhale, feel a little bit more of a twist. Inhale, extend. Exhale, just kind of unwind. So again, if cow face is available to you, just stacking the knees, or you can just do an easy seated posture. And so just whatever feels good for you. But just always remember to have just the one. So this might be available better for you. Just Just feel your way through this. So whatever hip, so this hip is kind of hiking a little bit, and that's one thing. The hip that is grounded, you just kind of raise the same arm up overhead, extend. So find the extension first. See if you can ground the hip a little bit more. And then just feel the arch in the side body. So just, if that just means just placing the hand behind the head and opening the shoulder. And breathe. So if your arm is kind of draped over your head, behind, inhale, extend, and exhale. Okay. So now let's extend our legs straight. And let's come onto our backs. So I have a few more minutes. So before we come into our Shavasana, let's see what happens when we just do a little baby bridge pose. So the way that we were trying to gauge our core, see if you can take the arch out of your lower back. Just imagine like your lower back has like a button under it. You're trying to press the button. And feel that engagement. And while you're feeling that engagement, just maybe lift the tailbone. Just, you're not really even lifting your lower back off the mat, just the bottom of your butt cheeks. And just notice the muscles in your core that are engaging. So again, you can dump into a bridge pose, and that'll open up your hip flexors. But what we're doing is just kind of seeing what it's like to just engage the muscles that help work on that stability. You might even feel your pelvic muscles engage. It's just a very slow, very subtle movement. It's definitely your lower abs. It's your transverse abdominis. Just holding. Like it's just maybe like not even a centimeter lift. And then release, relax. And so let's neutralize that with a twist. So bring the right arm, I don't know anymore, the right leg towards you, and just extend the left leg. Just feel the strong extension. So the heel is lifted just for a moment. Feel the extension like I'm pulling on your ankle. And then release the heel. Take the left hand on the outside of your knee and fold over to your left. And so your right arm is like a wing. It can draw overhead if that feels good, but I like to open up my arm like a wing to kind of open up the shoulders, the muscles of the chest that often get shortened because I slouch at my desk all the time. And relax here. Just let everything go. Inhale, draw the right knee back into your midline. Give it a good squeeze. Maybe open up the hip a little bit to the opposite side. And draw the left knee into the chest and just do some little spinal rocking here. And extend the right leg out, squeezing the left shin in. So heel extended, so it's lifting a couple of inches off the mat. Find the extension in the right hip as you're pulling with the left knee, the left shin. And then drop the heel of the right foot, right hand on the outside of the left knee, and just roll over to your right side. So left arm reaches out like a wing. So your left shoulder probably isn't going to drop all the way. Not today. But your right shoulder hopefully is anchored onto the mat. But if your left arm is way up here, you can maybe just drop the arm overhead or place your hand on a block. Place your elbow on a block. And just notice with every inhale, feel the expansion in the chest. And with every exhale, feel a release in the hips. Inhale, draw the left knee back into the chest. Draw the right knee back into the chest. Do one little spinal rocking. Place your feet flat onto the mat. Maybe do one little last squeeze with your core. Maybe even do just a baby bridge, just to get a little bit more stretching. And then release. Extend the feet, extend the arms, just kind of let them flop open. And just notice that there's just that little arching in the spine that occurs. And if that's too much and it's causing stress in your lower back, it's always a good idea to take a couple of pillows and place them underneath your calves. And so you can stay here as long as you have. But wherever you are in the world, I wish you peace. Take care.